Riding the waves for medical research.
They're champions in the water, they've got the biggest hearts, and they're the greatest guys I've ever met in my life.
On 60 Minutes, the intriguing murder mystery that shocked the world.
I did not kill my daughter.
Who killed John Bonet, the tiny tot beauty queen?
I'm amazed that the whole world doesn't think we're guilty.
Her parents branded prime suspects. Their chilling story.
I knelt down over her and laid my body on her body.
Also, the company that's never sacked a worker, $100,000 a year and a job for life.
You're a communist.
Heavens, no! And how the Queen won over Charles Woolidge.
60 Minutes, Sunday, 7:30 on Win.
Buy now and no deposit with no interest and no repayments for 12 months at Harvey Norman. Buy a TV, video, stereo, camcorder, fridge, freezer, washer, dryer and more. No deposit, no interest, no repayments for 12 months. Available to approved customers.
It's the huge Belgian rug sellout on now at Chicken Feed. Choose from the latest designs. There's open field, Persian look and Mexican. And look at these fantastic prices. 60 by 100 centimetre, $14.95. 120 by 160 centimetre, $49. And the huge 160 by 220 centimetre, only $89. All come in these fantastic colours. There's Brie, Hunter Green and Petrol Blue. So rush in before you miss out. Chicken Feed's huge Belgian rug sellout on now.
Marcia Hines, live in concert. One night only at the Country Club Casino. Marcia Hines, Friday 7th of April. Tickets at the venue.
Little by little, you've turned your house into a home. And now it's time for the finishing touch. Ambi Pur Feeling at Home. Its fragrance creates a wonderful homely feeling and makes your house a home.
Introducing a new variety of Vita Brits. Organic. Of course, organic means that they are 100% natural, with nothing artificial, and there are no chemical pesticides used.
Hey, you missed one.
New 100% organic Vita Brits.
Well, when we first saw the Elphinwood plans, we were really wrapped up in the concept of it, and we can start to see it developing now.
We chose Elphinwood because it is quiet and close to the city. It's a wonderful place to bring the children up, and we're very happy living here.
It's a new little suburb, but you're in the old established Newstead area.
Elphinwood, yeah, it's a great place to raise a family. The children love the space, and overall it's fantastic. You know, we've been very lucky living here.
On Canberra to override the Northern Territory's mandatory sentencing legislation blamed for the death of a 15-year-old Aboriginal boy in Darwin's juvenile detention centre. The tragedy of the youth suicide, while serving time for property offences worth less than $100, was also marked with a vigil.
As the Children's Court sat inside, hundreds gathered in memory of the 15-year-old who died while serving a mandatory sentence for a minor property offence.
The boy's death was unnecessary and avoidable tragedy.
Among the crowd, the boy's uncle, who says he should never have been sent to detention in Darwin from Groote Island off Arnhem Land. The boy upset by the recent death of his aunt.
For him not to be able to attend that funeral and as a part of the family, he had a lot going on in his mind.
Opponent of mandatory sentencing, Green Senator Bob Brown says federal intervention is now unavoidable.
Prime Minister Howard should defuse what is becoming an Olympics year time bomb.
The federal government says it doesn't like to interfere, but will consider the report of a Senate committee into the issue. Opposition to the laws now spreading.
This is a terrible tragedy which has occurred to a young man, a dreadful tragedy, and it deserves more than a dismissive response.
But Chief Minister Dennis Burke is dismissive of claims mandatory sentencing is responsible for the boy's death. He's refusing a moratorium on the laws to reconsider the regime, still convinced of its electoral popularity.
I think there's a silent majority out there that are very comfortable with what's happening.
The teenager's funeral is expected to be held next week. Lara Cole for Nightline.
An investigation is underway into reports that a New South Wales man died while waiting 50 minutes for an ambulance. Richard Munday suffered a heart attack on Monday night, but an ambulance on standby just 2 minutes away was not sent. Ambulance officers and the state opposition blame budget cuts, saying the on-call officers weren't contacted because they'd have to be paid overtime. Soaring temperatures in Sydney saw firefighters battling a fire in the city's western suburbs this afternoon. Nearly 40 hectares of bushland burned as strong winds pushed the flames towards properties at Londonderry. A car wrecking yard was destroyed while fire crews struggled to save some 20 homes. But with 200 volunteers, 30 units and 6 helicopters with water bombs, the outbreak was contained within 4 hours. Meanwhile, high temperatures and recent rains are being blamed for a toxic algal bloom in the Swan River. A 10-kilometre section right into the city is the worst affected. Health and water authorities have closed the river to all recreational use and admit they have no idea when they'll be able to reopen it. They've warned that any contact with the water poses a serious health hazard. The latest elaborate trick by cocaine smugglers has been foiled in an investigation by Customs. They've seized a haul of cocaine disguised as fertiliser and chemically altered to avoid detection.
The 115 kilograms of the drug had a potential street value of more than $23 million. Disguised as organic fertiliser, it arrived as air cargo and immediately raised suspicions because it was addressed to an inner-city apartment block. Federal police put a surveillance operation in place which led to the arrests of 2 men, one from Singapore, the other from Malaysia. Both face Central Court today. Police say the shipment had been laced with additives which disguised its true chemical makeup, making it all but impossible to detect by normal methods.
We believe that people would then re-purify it in order to utilise it.
It was this piece of equipment which uncovered the shipment, a scanner capable of breaking down chemical particles.
Some trouble was taken to disguise the nature of the goods, and we were still up to the task.
Police and Customs say the scanner is the latest weapon in detecting narcotics and proved its capabilities with this haul.
We have been targeting the top end of criminal enterprises now for some time. And I suppose we are now seeing the fruits of our labours.
It's understood this is the second largest seizure of black cocaine anywhere in the world, the first ever shipment to be detected coming into Australia. It's Australia's 4th major drug seizure in the past month. Simon Boda for Nightline.
After the break, Britain tries to sort out fact from fantasy.